Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, who came to us in the persons of Master Farrakhan Muhammad. And I bear witness that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is indeed thine exalted Christ. And I furthermore indeed bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is our divine reminder, leader, teacher, and guide. I greet you all in the nation, greeted words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. Hotek, peace. On behalf of Brother Albert Muhammad and the Let Us Make Man family, as always, family, we thank you for taking the time to read our posts, watch our videos, support our cause, our efforts in the plight of the black community. This will probably be one of the shortest videos we have put out in a while, and I'm going to do my very best to get straight to the core and the point of the purpose of this video. But before I go there, I want to sincerely thank our dear brother and editor of the Final Call newspaper, our dear brother Demetrius Muhammad, and the defendant Farrakhan family for their tireless efforts and their hard work in defending such a noble and a great man in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. To Sinister, Keith Ellison, many of you in Minnesota may know him, or in the Senate to be Senator Ellison. I'm not going to have a long drawn out session about your attempt to smear the hard work and name of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. In reality, this is a message to our people that they really begin to realize and see what people like yourself tends to do for the love of fame. Deception and misleading our people for recognition. Making Minister Farrakhan the litmus test in 2016 once again. However, your attempt to smear the name and the hard work of a man like Farrakhan will definitely fall on deaf ears. See, the message I want to send to those who are listening and those who may not really be aware, if you know anything about the history of the Nation of Islam, you will never find, to the literal sense, any concrete evidence or proof that under the divine leadership and inspiration of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, under the divine leadership and inspiration of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam has never physically assaulted anyone, never physically put hits out on anyone, never physically attempt to defame or destroy anyone that may disagree with our belief systems, our practices. But what you will find in the history of the Nation of Islam, the many men and women that come through the ranks of the nation, which means join on to the nation at some point, and after they've been a part of the nation for a period of time, they absorb as much knowledge and wisdom that they can absorb, then they defect from the nation, return back to the same enemy that we've taught them about and tried to save face for fame and fortune by defaming and discrediting the nation, or discrediting the nation of Islam and the leadership, particularly the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. But what Mr. Ellison, Sinister Ellison, needs to really know, once a member in the Nation of Islam, you gon' always be a member. You always gonna be nation's property. It's cut and dry. When you sign and register, you commit yourself willingly. No one forces you to join the Nation of Islam. You know the process when you join the Nation of Islam. There's no one putting guns to your head to join on to what you say is your own kind. But then, like many who have came and gone throughout the ranks of the Nation of Islam, many begin to disfame or distort the teachings, discrediting a man like Farrakhan. I can go over the history of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, but we'll be sitting here all day. This is why the NOI, you can go to NOI.org and research anything you want to learn about Minister Farrakhan. But to my people, please do not be deceived by the history of making Minister Farrakhan the litmus test for Negroes who want to be accepted in our so-called white man's world. Why does he love the devil? It's simple. The devil gives him nothing. Every black man and black woman in America over the last 60 years or better who decide to affiliate or join with the Nation of Islam and seek political offices for political gains for whatever reason, the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, which is a Jewish group organization, begin to attack them and discrediting them because they affiliate and associate with the Nation of Islam. Nowhere in the history of Minister Farrakhan has he ever directed or instructed the Nation of Islam to attack the Jews or belittle the Jews or put the Jews down, and nothing to that sense. But when a man speaks truth, truth cuts like a dry knife, and many of us hate to hear truth. We love lies. We lavish in lies and hypocrisy because it soothes us better for most of us. So the Sinister or Senator Ellison from Minnesota, who at one point was seeking the lead Democratic Party chair, right? He is a man who bore witness to the life-giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as is taught today by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. This is not long ago. Here is a man who put on a suit and bow tie. And this is why we always instruct our people, be careful of who you talk to when they come to you in a suit and bow tie. Because they wear a suit and bow tie doesn't mean that they love Farrakhan. So we say to our people, be wise in your association with the hypocrites. Be careful of who you associate with. Here's a man named Keith Ellison, the Sinister or the Senator of Minnesota, who's seeking a high office. So like President Obama, who's leaving office soon, had to do when he was battling Hillary Clinton, had to deny Minister Farrakhan for a seat. So Keith Ellison is just a repeat history. Have to deny Farrakhan. We don't mind the fact that you denied Farrakhan. That's within your right. But we refuse to just sit idly by and let you defame or distort the work of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That is our problem. Our problem is not the fact that you denied the Nation of Islam or you seeking a seat in the Democratic Party as chairman. That is not our problem. We can give 2 cents to that. Our problem, again, is we refuse to let you or anybody defame or distort the work of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I am a witness bearer of the life, light, and power that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan exhibits, that he teaches. He's never taught me. I've never heard him say anything about to go out and do this or go out and do that. I've never heard Farrakhan say anything of that nature in the last 25 years. I've only heard him teach us freedom, justice, and equality. He's a humble man. He's a good man. We don't worship Minister Farrakhan. We worship no God but Allah, the one the messenger represents to us. But we love Farrakhan to the depths of us. That's what I'm trying to get to. That's where I'm trying to get you to understand. So, Mr. Ellison, once a member of the Nation of Islam, you always going to be a member of the Nation of Islam. These Jews are not going to accept you. Rather that you denounce Farrakhan or distort the name of Farrakhan. As a matter of fact, the same Jews that you're trying to please, they're going to really despise you because you turned coat like a hypocrite, like a snitch. So they really not going to have no love for you, and they're really not going to trust you. Do you think that the ADL is going to trust you and going to like you because you denounce Farrakhan or you try to distort the teachings of Farrakhan? Are you serious? What is wrong with us? We're afraid to separate and do for self. So as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan continuously teach us, that this right man is going to run us from amongst them. This is why you all over America begging to eat in his restaurants, begging to sleep in his hotels, begging to go to his schools. He don't want you with them. But you begging, you refuse to accept the life-giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to learn and do for self, to learn to build as black men and women has always done throughout the annals of time. We've always been an independent, strong people. We never depended on white people up until this hour, this millennium. So, Mr. Ellison, your disrespect to the minister is truly an upliftment. But Minister Farrakhan, and I'm going to tell you this, Minister Farrakhan should be your least of worries. Your biggest concern should be the Jews that Minister Farrakhan is raising up to make sure that the Nation of Islam should never fall again, that the Nation of Islam should never die. I really wasn't going to touch this subject, but I would be remiss of my duties to have a program like the Let Us McMahon program, to go on air on social media and talk freedom, justice, and equality, and let you smear the name of my leader, teacher, and guide, our leader, teacher, and guide, your leader, teacher, and guide, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I would be remiss of my duties if I didn't stand 1,000% backing Minister Farrakhan to the depths of me, man. See, we fed up with you Negroes continuously attacking and trying to viciously distort the work of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We done with it, man. I'm going to leave you with this. There was a time in the Nation of Islam when you couldn't utter the name of Elijah Muhammad to the left without paying a price. Without Almighty God, Allah, sending the locusts to your doorstep. We're not going to continue to allow the name of Farrakhan, the work of Farrakhan, to be disrespected and distorted and try to paint him as some old evil vicious man who doesn't like white people, who doesn't like Jewish people, when that's madness, that's foolishness, that's idiotic thinking. That's behind the fact that you don't know Farrakhan. You so worried about him liking white people. Do you think white people give a damn about you? Do you think the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, the Jewish Defamation League give a damn about you and your denouncing of Farrakhan? No, you show them every time you do that you still separated from the truth and the light of the tree that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad left. But Farrakhan has raised Jews in the nation. There's diamonds in the nation that's about to sprout, that'll have the world shook up. So if you sitting here waiting for Farrakhan to die off somewhere, you sadly mistaken. The name Farrakhan, Louis Farrakhan, will live for eternity. The work of Louis Farrakhan will live, whether you like it or not. You can take it or let it alone. But we will not let you continuously disrespect vividly or openly the work in the name of Louis Farrakhan without some sort of accountability. We are taught to fight with those who fight with us. We're not aggressors. We're not angry people. We don't carry weapons. We carry nothing but the truth that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave to us. The truth that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has delivered to us and continues delivered to us. But we will fight with those who fight with us. We will put our lives on the line to preserve the life, light, and power and the hard work and efforts of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So don't take us for granted, because we are humble. And our job is to be saviors towards our people. Our job is not to be the aggressors and to go out to do bodily harm to our people. We are made saviors for our people. But don't take us for granted. So Mr. Ellison and Minnesota, Sinister Ellison, which many of you again known as Senator, you are still a member of the Nation of Islam. You're still a member. You registered. You got to ask. You have Muhammad by your name. So for all those who took the time to listen, I thank you for tuning in. But we just wanted to make it clear on the Let Us Make Man program that there's no way that we would sit and not say something in defense to our leader, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, a man that we know to be a champion of truth, a just man, a noble man, a trustworthy man, a good man. But if you never met Farrakhan, if you never had a chance to talk to Farrakhan, you wouldn't know. But if you keep listening to these dissatisfied Negroes that come and go through the ranks of the Nation of Islam, only to try to distort the Nation of Islam and destroy the Nation of Islam from within, you'll never know who Farrakhan really is. You'll never understand the mission of the Nation of Islam, the true mission of the Nation of Islam, which is separation and do for self. I wrote segregation is the best thing for us. We should be seeking segregation. We did well as a people doing segregation. Dr. King said it himself. His heart was in pain that he feared that he was leading his people into integration, which was into a melting pot. Dr. King gave his life to see to it that black people stand some sort of chance. And a society has not changed, that has gotten worse. But they still find these same old Negroes who have the desire for fortune and fame. They come through the ranks of the Nation of Islam. They say Assalamu alaikum. They wear suit and bow ties. They wear garments. They look beautiful. They speak eloquently. They speak so beautiful, you'll be stuck if you didn't know. Judge the tree by the fruit it bears. If you ain't speaking Farrakhan, then you got to question that individual thoroughly. I want to thank you all for taking the time to tune in to your little brother. We have an undying love for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. As I said, he's a good man. He teaches us freedom, justice, and equality. He's striving to make us saviors for our people. But we're done with the blatant disrespect, especially coming from former members of the Nation of Islam, as if to say, so what? May Allah continue to bless you. I leave you as I came before you in the nation, greater words of peace and paradise. There's a lot I may have wanted to cover in this topic, but I just choose not to go too deep. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum.